Back with more live coverage from the Millrose games in New York City. And one of the highlighted events at the Millrose games is the Visa Men's Shot Put, featuring 3 of the most accomplished throwers in history. And for more, here's Dwight.
All right, Lewis, well, you can see the records there. And Randy Barnes threw that throw at Manhattan College when they were not throwing the shot here at the Garden. But for the last several years, this has been a highlight event in the center of the infield, and the same 4 players are back again in 2010, led by Adam Nelson, then Dan Taylor, Reese Hoffa, and the new world champion, Christian Cantwell, is throwing last, right where he loves it. Adam Nelson, twice the Olympic silver medalist, won a world championship gold back in 2005, finished 5th in Berlin last year. His first throw. Oh, and a nasty fall there for Nelson, but he's okay. But that is a foul on so many levels. And for my next trick, Dan Taylor, 6'6", 320. It's so tough for these tall guys, he and Cantwell, to stay in this 7-foot circle. It's really almost balletic what they do, and he just could not hold his balance, and he fouls out the side. So 2 fouls to open up the competition. This is Reese Hoffa, the 2007 world champion, twice an Olympian. Hoffa 6 feet, 293, and he gets it out there right there at the 65-foot line. In fact, it taped out at exactly 65 feet. Here is Christian Cantwell. Already has the world lead at 69.11.5 from a meet in Germany a couple of weeks ago. Cantwell 6'6", 320, and he pushes right through the center. He knows it's good as soon as he lets it go. 70 feet, 4 1/4, and he extends his world lead. But more importantly, he's the leader of the first round of 4. Cantwell over Hoffa, and then Nelson and Taylor not yet on the board.
Well, you go from speed in the ring to speed on the track. Earlier tonight, we had some fun with some of the youngsters, and let's just call them our Visa Future Stars. Right here on the big stage in Madison Square Garden to see who would claim the title, the fastest kid in New York. First, the boys were on the track, and Jonathan Grant in lane 4 looked like he was shot out of a cannon, coming right at you in the black. Grant really had an excellent run there, led the field all the way, winning at a time of 7.61 seconds. And then it was the girls' turn, and look at Gibson Thomas. She's at the top of your screen in lane 1, head back, and she was gone. Winning at 8.20 seconds. And hey, when you run that well, it's time for an interview.
Gibson, congratulations. What was it like to run in Madison Square Garden?
Well, it was my first time, and it was really exciting.
There's a lot of people here. Were you nervous? Do you want to ever be in the Olympics or be like one of these professional women?
Yes.
Do you know which one? You don't have a favorite? Well, congratulations, and we'll hope to see you next year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great poise by Gibson and Jonathan Grant. I mean, it's great to see these kids have an opportunity, right?
Well, wouldn't you have been the fastest kid in New York if they'd had the race when they were running it here when you were a kid?
Important because this is often the time at which these kids get hooked. So many future stars can say that when they really got hooked on the sport is when they won, when they were young.
And there you see some of the key events coming up later on in the sprints and also in the distance. And the Wanamaker Mile will be our focus later on tonight. Well, we want to take you back to earlier in the evening and a brand new event that proved to be very exciting addition to this historic night of track and field. Here's how we call the men's Super 60. So it's time to have some fun here in Madison Square Garden as we look at the straightaway that runs right down the middle of the building for the Super 60. The first time that we will see some of the NFL's fastest, either current or recent, who will take to the track, no helmets, no pads, only spikes, to try and claim the title of the fastest football players. So in lane 1, Anthony Dorsett Jr., a defensive back, 6 feet tall, 200 pounds, 36 years old, and boy, he looks fit.
Yeah, he doesn't. With this field assembled, absolutely going to have to be ready to go when that gun sounds.
There is Philip Buchanan, 29 years old, 5'11", 186 pounds. He was drafted 17th overall back in 2002. And he looks to be, I don't know, Otto, a little nervous.
Yeah, but with a 4.340, which he's reported to have run, he should be very much in the mix. I expect this to be a very, very close race.
And I got to tell you, I think the pressure is on him because he's standing next to 49-year-old Willie Gault. He is the man who organized the Super Bowl shuffle, still one of the fastest men in the world. for his age group.
And even at 49, I think he's the favorite here. Simply the best athlete I've ever had a chance to be around. This guy's done everything from the bobsled to ballet dancing.
That's right. And standing next to him, 34 years old, only 5'8", 180 pounds. Tim Dwight is a man who absolutely loves track and field. Known also for his exploits on the football field as a wide receiver and a kick returner.
I expect him to challenge Willie Gault. He has very, very good track speed and, of course, a fantastic start from his days at Iowa.
Then in lane 6, 26-year-old Ryan Lacasse, a defensive end, a big guy, 6'2", 225 pounds. He's a native of Massachusetts, so he knows this area. Drafted by the Baltimore Ravens back in 2006.
How many defensive ends do you think could line up against this field?
And have the nerve to show up to run against these guys.
This guy has my respect.
Well, really, the story here may be in the middle of the field with Willie Gault, but they've all come to try and have a big moment here in the Madison Square Garden. Look at Buchanan. I'm telling you, he's really thinking about this, and so is Dorsett Jr. And there's the field. Lane 2, Anthony Dorsett Jr. Philip Buchanan in 3. Willie Gault in 4. Tim Dwight in 5. And Ryan Lacasse in 6.
Look at that line, the first line on the track. The first guy to that line has a very good chance to hold on for the win. Don't expect a lot of movements at the end, being that these guys are not used to going as far as 60 meters. That's quite a little bit more than 40 yards.
Look at Lacasse trying to buy some more time there with the slow entry into the blocks. And a fair start in the Super 60. And Philip Buchanan has gotten away well. Gault struggling, trying to close. And in lane 1, it's Anthony Dorsett Jr. coming up with a nice run. But in the end, it's Buchanan who actually Dorsett Jr. holds on for the win. Buchanan in 2nd, and Willie Gault looks disappointed because he was 3rd.
Hey, no shame, 49-year-old guy running 7.07 out here. Buchanan got the start that saw him lead to that first line I talked about. You see him there 2nd from your right, but look at the move by Dorsett Jr. just towards the last 5 meters. And that was all the advantage he needed to win this men's Super 60 meter.
Now, if this race had been longer, Willie Gault, who's in the middle of your screen, may have been able to close the distance, but as you can see him closing now, just too short as Buchanan looks to flail a little bit, but up in lane 1, Dorsett Jr. really held on to that speed.
Yeah, this was a race where the longer it got, the better for Willie, who's probably still doing prep for his outdoor season.
Right.
So he was closing in on the leaders, but ran out of real estate.
Well, they're catching their breath. Maybe they need a little oxygen down there, Elizabeth.
Anthony, your first run in Millrose. I heard you haven't been on the block since college. You couldn't tell.
Well, I think I need to lose a little weight if I'm gonna keep doing this, though. But felt pretty good. Just tried to get out. Talked to Bobby Kirsty and John Drummond before the race. They helped me with my block start, so we did all right there.
You had fun?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely having fun. It's always good to win.
How bad did you not want to lose to an almost 50-year-old?
Look, I couldn't have walked in front of my dad if he would have beat me, you know what I'm saying? My dad would have been trying to race me now, so it's all for fun. Everybody showed well today, so it's a good time.
All right, thank you, and thank you all you guys for participating. Lewis?
All right, well, Anthony Dorsett Jr. has played in 2 Super Bowls, but tonight he wins the Super 60 in Madison Square Garden. Wins in a time of 7.01 seconds. Philip Buchanan gets up for 2nd, and Willie Gault, the ageless one at 49 years old, finishes in 3rd. And still to come, Bernard Lagat goes for history when he attempts to win an A title in the Wanamaker Mile. There have been many great moments to get him here tonight.